Hello, this is Compound Interest Stock Guy, and today in this video I'm just going to be talking about my brother and just like some family stuff. So if you're just interested in financial and cannabis and commodity and all that stuff, this is probably not the video for you. But if you want to listen, I appreciate you listening to my story. I appreciate it. Story time. Yeah, so give me thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah. So I'm not going to do any financial disclosure because this isn't about financial advice, but what I am going to talk about is basically my brother. So my brother, he's been going through yeah, it's kind of hard for me to talk about it, but it's basically he's been having chemo, and he has brain cancer, and he's been dealing with radiation and all this other stuff. And it's kind of hard for me because I don't agree with the whole medical field, and I hope in the future there's more information on CBDs in dealing with cancers and all these things. And I hope the medical field, big companies such as Johnson and Johnson and Novartis and like Apotex and all these other different companies that are huge and they have lots and lots of money, that they start getting drugs that are dealing with people with cancer and stuff, instead of giving them all these other stuff that I think just kills your immune system. And it bothers me. It bothers me a lot. I'm not where my brother is. My brother lives in Vancouver with his wife, and he deals with it, and he takes some drugs, and it's just like my dad has high blood pressure, and he's like, it's like he almost died back like 20 years ago when he was having a shower, and he came out and he was on the floor and he was yelling at my mom, and my mom's like, well, he's just yelling, he's just being mad or something like that, and just ignored it. And it was like almost like 2 minutes until he got up to his room and realized like, oh, we got to call the ambulance. And I just don't really think the drugs that the pharmaceutical industry are very good for your body. There's definitely like if you read anything, if you get prescribed anything from your doctor, it's telling you like, okay, these are the side effects. And with like CBDs is like, there's no real side effects. It's like you're not getting psychoactive. It's basically like it's your body's like an endocannabinoid system, and it basically like works with your brain, like, so it makes you kind of more like, the circulation in your body. And I believe that's like the way to be healthy. I was talking to my brother earlier today, and he was doing all this research on my grandpa and his dad and all this stuff like that. And I don't know, it's just interesting. But basically is that, well, I'm just going on a rant, but basically, people are different, but I think that your body has an endocannabinoid system, and it works in circulation, and like it helps with your immune system. And by putting in all these drugs that aren't very good for your body, then it just kills your immune system. On top of that, radiation kills your cells. And like my uncle, he had something with his like toe. He had a stroke, and then like they like cut off his toe or something like that. And like just the way he talks or whatever, like, he's like slow. And like my brother, I'm talking to him on the phone, it's just like you can tell like all these cells are being killed like from his body. Like, he's very smart. Like he was like an honor roll student, and I was never an honor roll student, but I think I'm very highly intelligent, but not on on a school system really. I just really like learn stuff. Like I learn about the cannabis industry and I OCD about it. I learn everything about that. But I mean, I'm not here to brag about that I'm intelligent or not. I'm just here to say that I think I am, and that's open to discussion. But what I'm trying to say is, though, I don't think that's the way to go about it. And they already told my brother that like he may only have like 5 years to go in his life. And on top of that, they say that he can't go back to work. Like they're not gonna sign off on him going back to work. And it's just like, what the f? Like 2 years ago, he was working for this company. He's a GIS, like geographical information system, like and he works for like companies like Lululemon and all these things. And they, it's like based on like all this research and data, so that if a company wants to figure out where to put a store, then they're gonna use their GIS data, and then he can go to these companies and share how the software works, and then like McDonald's and all these other companies can go about it and use it to find the best places based on data, like, oh, what's the age and what are people spending money on, and then that they're not like putting locations in places that aren't very feasible. So that's something that he was doing for quite a few years, and now he's not able to work, and it's just like, what the f. And I just think it has a lot to do with like all this chemo and all stuff. Like he was having problems, like he was losing balance. But I think it's all mental and stuff like that. And basically, like I think that good CBDs or something like that, like they could find. On top of that, there's all these different like there's CBG, CBN, like THC. THCA, like all these things that could help heal your body. And there haven't been like FDA approvals. Like basically the only thing that's really gone through is like GW Pharma for their seizure thing. And I have a really big problem with that, and I think it's like something that people need to, big money needs to be spent. Like they spend so much money into like trying to get AIDS and all stuff like that. And I think in the next few years, like I think it's very important that they invest money into getting very good products for people that have cancer and all these other things like that they're dealing with, like high blood pressure or all this stuff like that, that their body's like really in tune, and that they don't have to smoke cannabis. They can just take a capsule. And I really hope that's the future, because it's very disturbing that my family, my brother's going through this, and I don't like the drugs they give them, I've taken drugs before. I still take drugs, but I don't like do it all the time. Like I'm not going to get into it, but I use cannabis, and I like CBD gel capsules and all stuff like that. And I think it helps with your body's immune system, and it helps you fight like infections and all that stuff like that. And I think that putting stuff in your body like is really bad. And the problem is that they put doctors at such a high level that they put them at such a high level that it's like that they're just God. And basically they're just working for big pharma. And I just think that if my brother was able to use CBDs, like he would be dealing with all this so much better. And I can't get through to him because all big pharma and the doctors, that would never come to mind, like for them to use it as a healing and to help. And I just think it's such a disgrace that our society is based on that. And I'm really hoping for a change in the future, because big things need to happen in the future. And I don't think, we've gone so many years where people have used tons and tons of opiates, and that's been okay. And now there's people that are just using CBDs or cannabis, once or twice a day, just to deal with their pain from PTSD, like people that were who were in the military and all these things like that, or just like they were scarred as a kid and they have PTSD, or they have anxiety and they have sleep problems, and now these are all being dealt with by cannabis. And then there's doctors and people that are so secluded from understanding this, and there's also not, it's not mainstream yet, so people, it has to be mainstream in order for people to subscribe to it. So that's a big problem. And alternative health with cannabis, I think, is a very good thing for people, and I hope it becomes even bigger, not just because I'm invested, because I do believe in it being helpful for people, but I just don't like the fact that there's so much like stigma still around the cannabis. And I think that would really help my brother out, and it would help other people out going through the same thing. My brother apparently has like the same thing that with the guy with the tragically hip, what's his name? I'm trying to think, that just died, and it's like some type of brain cancer. But I don't know, time will tell. But I really hope that things improve in the future, and this is really my message for the world. Share the video with other people, get the message out, give me thumbs up. I hope you like this video. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you think about all this, and until next time, peace.